Well, let's start with the air news. The minority in parliament is firing shots at Finance Minister Dr. Kesiela Tuforsen, accusing him of trying to grab the spotlight over Ghana's debt stock decline. The MPP group is pushing back, insisting that any progress made is solely due to the Akufo-Addo government's bold decisions, particularly the debt exchange program. Speaking at a news conference, minority spokesperson on finance, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, claimed the government has not paid a cedi of Ghana's debt since it assumed office and cannot take credit for the reduction. He called out the minister for attempting to rewrite history and take credit for someone else's work.
On the exchange rate situation, the minister indicated that, and we all heard it. He said, Cedi no apicki. That's what he said, isn't it? The developments in the foreign exchange market under this administration are deeply troubling. We are witnessing persistent arbitrage between the interbank market and the Forex Bureau, alongside a growing scarcity of foreign exchange. Perhaps the minister should know that, yes, Cedi no apicki, but abochi get the dollar, as my brother Honorable Adongo once said. And the arbitrage we are seeing is quite wide. Whilst the minister is talking about interbank rate of 10 cedis to $1, the abochi is selling it at over 13 cedis to $1. And on top of that, the banks don't have forex to give to their clients. We have heard many people complaining about how long it takes, the documents they have to present, to be sent to the Bank of Ghana for clearance before they get forex from their own accounts, their own forex accounts. They cannot get transfers that they have to make to people they buy goods from abroad. They are not able to do that. They are incurring losses as a result of that.
Now, government earlier this year cancelled the Oil for Gold for Oil program, citing challenges with sustainability and execution. But the minority insists the initiative must be reinstated to help stabilize the city. Kojo Nkrumah is the ranking member on Parliament's Committee on Economy and Development.
The central bank's intervention, in addition to the gold purchase program, are the major contributors. The IMF has already warned the government that you cannot continue to dump $1.4 billion every 6 months on the market. Today, gold prices are high. The previous government introduced the gold purchase program, which you are following. You've only rebranded PMMC as Gold Board, and you've now sort of expropriated everybody out of gold exports. But you haven't introduced any new policy. But gold prices may not forever be high. Therefore, this approach is not sustainable. We're encouraging the government to, among other things, on the supply side, ensure that exports, forex earnings on exports are properly retired into the Ghanaian jurisdiction. The LOC requirements must be better attended to. And then even on the demand side, we will recommend that they should still pay some attention to the gold for oil program. Despite the fact that the minister tried to pretend there was no gold for oil program. In fact, you heard him saying that there was no gold for oil program. The Bank of Ghana itself has admitted that there was. And the government itself, he had forgotten that the government itself previously had admitted. You recall the government announced that they have cancelled the gold for oil program. How do you cancel a program that doesn't exist? You see, the propaganda is beginning to expose them. We are suggesting that on the demand for forex side, the government should pay more attention to the major elements that add up to demand for forex.
Away from that, the Ashanti Regional Police Commander, DCOP Emmanuel Kujo, has described recent unrest in Asawase as a difficult but familiar situation for the security services. While calling for calm, he indicates the current violent situation is testing, yet not unprecedented, assuring the public the turmoil will be effectively tackled. There's more in the following report.
The Asawase community in Kumasi recorded 2 tragic incidents last week, raising serious concerns about safety and security in the Ashanti region. The wave of violence began with the assassination of Abdul Malik Azimbi, the Kusasi chief of the Ashanti region, who was brutally gunned down at his home near the Asawase F-line community. A couple of days later, another shooting occurred where an unidentified man was targeted by gunmen on a motorbike. Ashanti Regional Police Commander DCOP Emmanuel Taikujo insists the crime is part of challenges the security services have had to deal with. He urged media cooperation and public vigilance as he assured of the police's commitment to restoring normalcy.
To deliver what you brought here, I would want to touch a little bit on what happened in Ashanti and across the region. We urge the media to be circumspect in their reportage. These may be trying moments for the nation. However, it is not something that we've not been through or we're not skilled before. And we believe strongly that with the support of the media, the security setup is quite on top to clear this hurdle. So we want to assure all citizens to feel safe. And the most important thing is that whatever you see, you draw the attention of the security organization. We are dedicated to ensure that everything returns to normalcy in the near future. On this note, I welcome you to the police headquarters.
Meanwhile, President of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Kwabena Jumfour, noted the seeming tension within the country is a test of police resilience. He condemned the killings at Asawase and indicated the GJA's interest in how the police tackle the situation.
It's raised a lot of concerns and fear. We in Accra, some section or school of thought felt that it's an escalation of the Boko conflict that which we are witnessing in Ashanti. I'm with much confidence that you, together with your new deputy, you are in the good position to bring calm, to restore order in the area. Just as we've mentioned, it's very unfortunate that 4 months in office, this is a test case. So it is only fair that once we are here, we run it by you, know that we are watching keenly as to how the security is going to restore order and calm. I know the police can bring it down. We don't want to witness another Boko in the Ashanti region.
For Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
Now, calls for gender equity in Ghana's workplaces are intensifying as the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union is demanding swift ratification of the Affirmative Action Bill to legally enforce equal opportunities for women. Backed by Ghana's Labour Act, the principles of International Labour Organization, the union has taken a bold stand against entrenched discrimination. General Secretary of ICU, Morgan Ayawene, disclosed this at the 6th Women's Quadrennial Delegate Conference in Tema. There's more in the following report.
The conference, a vital forum for reviewing progress of the National Women's Wing over the past 4 years, also sets the tone for the next leadership cycle. With gender equity at its core, Industrial and Commercial Workers Union continues to expand structures that deepen the participation of women, placing them in leadership roles across departments, regions, and projects. Despite gains made in promoting women, much needs to be done. Discrimination against women in the world of work persists, fueled by assumptions about maternity and family responsibilities. General Secretary of Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, Morgan Ayawene, highlighted the need to look at the disparity.
Policymakers need to guard against the area of discrimination, the area of inequality, the area of job placements and what have you, that the law should give everybody the equal opportunity to work at the workplace and then to be promoted, and whatever positions that are there, women and men should be given their due. The Affirmative Action Bill has been passed by Ghana's Parliament, but it's taken a bit, longer for its ratification, because if you pass a bill, you need to rectify the bill and give it the necessary legal instruments. for us to now know that, yes, we have fought a good fight, we have been in a struggle, and today women more or less are being liberated.
Meanwhile, Morgan Ayawene says equal work deserves equal pay.
We have situations at certain workplaces that they pay men more than women just because they are men and then the other sex is women. That is unfair. They have the right to equal pay, equal rights and justice. So we're drumming it home to all employers to avoid this discrimination, since it is counterproductive. Because if you discriminate in the award of salaries and wages, if you discriminate in the award of promotion, you are one way or the other strengthening one section of the working class and demoralizing the other section of the working class.
Industrial and Commercial Workers Union maintains, with women making up more than half of Ghana's population, fair representation, fair pay and fair treatment is no longer negotiable.
Now, a renewed call has been made for African governments to implement the African Union Free Movement Protocol adopted in 2018. So far, only 4 countries have ratified the agreement, sparking growing concern among civil society organizations working on migration across the continent. In Ghana, the coalition of CSOs on migration, in partnership with their continental counterparts, are advocating for swift action to operationalize the protocol before 2027. There's more in this report.
Speaking to Joy News, the convener of the Ghana Coalition on Migration, Eric Pisa, underscored the importance of facilitating the free movement of persons as a catalyst for regional trade and economic growth.
That movement in Africa is even more than movement to Europe and then Americas. People travel within the African continent, African state, among ourselves, more than even going out. So therefore, if we're able to enhance this movement by ratifying this protocol and make sure it's enforced, it will make it easier for us to move around ourselves, trade among ourselves, and do business among ourselves, so that Africa will be also begin to start developing a little bit.
One of the participants at the forum expressed unhappiness over delays on the part of some member states, describing reasons such as insecurity as overstated and largely unjustified. He argued that migration has historically brought more benefits than harm and urged African leaders to take bold steps towards implementation.
Yes, security is a very great concern to every society. All right, and therefore it is something that every country needs to take it very seriously. But I must say that I am not too old, but since I was born, I've never heard Ghana attacking Benin or Benin attacking Cote d'Ivoire or Nigeria have an issue with South Africa, so we are sending missiles, or you have Ethiopia having issue with Egypt, so they are assigning their army to go and fight. Rather, we have been cooperating with our soldiers to go and keep peace in troubled areas, in difficult circumstances where the disaster and instabilities. We send our soldiers to rather go and come, bring situations under control. So security, I don't think, must ever be a reason for which we will not allow free movement to take place. Thank you.
Migration expert and lecturer at the University of Ghana, Professor Leander Kandilige, noted that there are many existing policy frameworks that support the protocol's implementation. He appealed to governments across the continent to act decisively and commit to ratifying and rolling out the protocol.
So we have a coalition of civil society organizations on migration in Ghana who, with the support of GIZ, they have a specific program called Shaping Development-Oriented Migration. And they are the people who are supporting the civil society organizations to lobby government and all the necessary stakeholders to try and get the ratification for Ghana. But because it's beyond Ghana, they have also reached out to civil society organizations in member states in other African countries to try and see if by the year 2027 we will have 11 ratifications for the Continental Free Movement Protocol to come into effect. The ratification should take place not longer than 2 years, so that like-minded nation states, when they come together, we get the 11 additional ratifications, and then this free movement protocol comes into effect for all of us. Thank you very much.
As 2027 draws near, pressure is mounting for African states to walk the talk on continental integration through free movement. For advocates, the protocol is not just about borders, it's about building a more united, prosperous Africa. And Dassey's report, read to you.
Now, after a dramatic protest-filled day that stretched late into the night, 8 schools booked their place in the semi-finals of the 2025 NSMQ Ashanti Zonal Championship, set to be decided today. Now, defending champions, Kumasi High School, 5-time national winners, Prempeh College, 2023 Zonal champions, Kumasi Anglican SHS, and high-scoring Opoku High School led a fierce pack of contenders, all hoping to emerge regional champions by the end of the day. There's more in this report.
Say linear. They said linear. Please, wait. Please, sit. Everybody, cool tempers. I'm the one in charge.
After a day filled with protests and heated moments, 8 schools have booked their place in the semi-finals of the Ashanti Zonal Championship, with Our Lady of Grace SHS standing out as the only private school to make the cut. The drama peaked during the final contest of the day, involving Ameniampon SHS, Our Lady of Grace, St. Louis, and Yasantua Girls SHS, which dragged on for nearly 3 hours, largely due to protests and tense exchanges.
If you just give me linear, you are right. And that is what I took.
The semi-final draw wrapped up with Prempeh College landing in the same group as 2023 Zonal champions, Kumasi Anglican SHS, Kumasi Academy, and Our Lady of Grace SHS. Opoku School will headline the second semi-final, paired with the current Zonal champions, Kumasi High School, Osei Tutu SHS, and Kumasi Senior High Technical School KSTS. The winners of each semi-final will progress to the grand final, along with the best performing runner-up, all to be decided on the same day.
Let's do business updates now by starting from what's happening on the currency market. Apologies, we brought you that of what's happening in the commodities market. But away from that, the Executive Director for the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Insia, has urged the government to map out a strategic medium to long-term plan aimed at increasing crude oil production. His concern follows revelation by the latest petroleum investment report, which indicated Ghana got $1.4 billion as savings since it started exporting crude in commercial quantities. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Insian said government must be deliberate about increasing its crude production for export.
So there are exogenous variables. I think this year we projected that we are going to sell our crude around $74 per barrel. But because of certain geopolitical crisis, certain geopolitical interest, especially from the European Union and also from America, I think prices are a bit stable or maybe in a declining state on the international market. So today, as we're speaking, prices are still hovering around $69, $70 per barrel compared to our projection of $74 per barrel within our 5-year moving average. So based on price alone, we are losing. Aside price, I think production has not been good, even though last year we did a marginal about 1% increase compared to 2023. Production has also been on a declining state. So if production is low and certain exogenous variables are not helping us on the international market, I think our revenue expectation will also be low, and that is why we are not getting the revenues we need. Beyond this, dollar also has to do with our revenue expectations in Cedi equivalent, because we projected our revenue of 16 billion in the petroleum upstream based on 15 Ghana cedis, 70 pesos to the dollar. Since the appreciation of the cedi has taken about 42%, it also means that our revenue expectation in Cedi equivalent will also decline in the first half of the year as well as the full year 2025.
Now, Ghana's cocoa sector faces mounting pressure as global prices surge due to tightening supply and worsening weather conditions across West Africa. There's more in this report.
In Ghana, where cocoa is a major economic driver, dry weather and high temperatures are threatening port development. According to experts, rainfall across cocoa-growing regions in Ghana and Ivory Coast is below the 30-year average, raising alarm about yield and bean quality. Cocoa processors have already started rejecting truckloads of mid-crop beans from Ivory Coast, citing poor quality, while Ghana's Cocoa Board projects an 8.3% increase in production for the upcoming season. The global outlook remains uncertain. With global cocoa production already down more than 13% this year, the International Cocoa Organization reports the largest global cocoa deficit in over 60 years.
So that's all we have in Business Update, and that's all in AM News Update.